Pleased to be joined out by the one, the only, the legendary, the incomparable, and I feel pretty firm in saying this, my best friend in the universe, the one and only DeMarcus Ware. D-Ware, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Man, thanks, man. I when I saw your name up there, I was like, man, I know that guy. Like, come on, man. But been doing really good, man. Thanks for the introduction.
That's awesome. Yeah, you and I, we can't keep meeting like this. Actually, I kind of hope we do, like for my profession. Maybe
Right,
not for
right,
yours,
right.
but like I hope it does work out this way. You have actually helped my life a lot. You gave me a movie suggestion one time. I mean, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really, you're starting to have a little bit of an
We're
impact
building
on
a
me.
friendship right now. We're building a friendship right now.
Exactly. You had a baby boy recently. Congratulations to you and your family. My wife and I had a baby boy. So, like, soon enough, they'll be best friends too. It's just, it's all working out. But this is a really exciting time of year, obviously, for the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys. And, I cover the Cowboys. So, how are you feeling? Because you are among former players. I feel like you're the most ardent fan of the Cowboys. And I say that in a good way. Like, you really take so much pride in rooting for them.
We actually do. I'm not just from playing with them, but dude, I feel like my blood, sweat, and tears is still out there in that football field. And when I talk to any other fans, I talk like a fan because I'm pissed or I'm mad because we didn't, win a football game. So man, I'm looking at the draft really closely, and I'm like, dude, we got to run the football. We have to run the football. We got to go get some offensive linemen. All right, because I see that we're missing a couple guys. Right, I'm like, oh, okay, well, we just lost Randy Gregory, but we got Michael Parsons, so we need like one more guy that can rush the passer. So there's a couple of things in the draft. On both sides, there are some beasts on offense, some great guys on defense that we can go and find that can really, be implemented into many parts of the team. So I'm looking forward to the draft this year.
I want to get your thoughts on the offensive side, but first, I do want to ask about Micah Parsons, just because you were somebody who kind of saw things in him. Not that nobody else did, but right away. I mean, you were always posting, hanging out with him. There was the moment between the two of you on Hard Knocks and the tutorials, and people eat that up. I mean, it's awesome. A legend and the current guy, kind of the Lion King meme, like Mufasa and Simba. Everything the light touches is ours, sort of thing. Maybe that's a movie you and your family can watch if I could return the favor. If you've never heard of Lion King, but
I watch it every day.
Good. But so there's an argument, because you mentioned the loss of Randy Gregory. There's an argument that, this team, and they might draft an edge rush from the first round, but if they don't, well, Micah can do that. Micah can rush the passer. He can play linebacker. Not that he's incapable, but how much pressure is that to put on him? I mean, to have him do all of these things, you were kind of in that role in Dallas early on. That is surely a lot to ask of any player, let alone someone so young.
The thing is, it's a lot to ask, but the thing is, the responsibility can be given to him. He can do that. But the thing is, it's how much do you want for him to do? Do you want him to play inside linebacker? Do you want for him to play, edge rusher? I mean, he can do both, but give him something that he does very well, which is rush the passer. Stick him on the right side, the left side, move some guys around, go and draft a true inside linebacker, a bruiser, to where at the end of the day, right, you want to run the football, we got somebody for that. Right. And so I feel that way from my perspective. Let him rush the passer a little bit more. He can still play inside, but now he can move around a little bit more and taking that pressure off of him from the inside linebacker position.
That makes sense. I imagine rushing the passer is more fun. Again, I've never done it, so you can. That's, of course, you have a career resume that certainly speaks. Like, it was a lot of fun for you, at least, and that's why a lot of Cowboys fans were. You mentioned being upset. Very upset with free agency and the lack of players brought in. Yes, they retained Leighton Vander Esch and Luke Gifford at linebacker. They did retain Dorrance Armstrong, bring in Dante Fowler. But had they brought in your buddy, Von Miller, okay, all of a sudden, Micah, now we have some mobility with you. Had they brought in Bobby Wagner, all of a sudden, hey, Micah, we have a true kind of classic vintage inside linebacker. Right. Now you can be a total edge rusher. Or were you frustrated that the Cowboys, kind of just put all their chips in the draft like this?
You know what? The thing is, I'm not frustrated because of the talent that's actually in the draft. I mean, you got, Wagner, you had a couple of guys that you can bring in like Von Miller, but, those guys are going to come with a huge price tag, right? But now, if you can go get some of these younger guys, I'm talking about hungry guys, when you're trying to build a team of character, they're all there from both sides. And you can get some sleepers, some of these small-time school guys that are great. They can come in and be very effective, but you don't think they will be, right? And so it's going to come down to drafting well. It's not, are the players capable? You just got to find the right ones. And when you do that, I mean, the team's it's going to skyrocket.
What was your draft experience like? I'm sure you think about that, around this time of year, every single year. Obviously, your draft class, a really famous one, Dallas Cowboys franchise history. People talk about great classes. 2005 gets a little bit slept on. Obviously, you're the headliner. Marcus Spears, incredible in his own right. Jay Ratliff. People sleep on Kevin Burnett. One of my favorite moments. Do you wear when you guys beat the Colts your second year, the undefeated Colts? Kevin Burnett had a pick six. I think it was a fumble recovery, but like that was such an important moment to me when I was in high school. And so, I mean, that class was awesome. Like, do you have an everlasting bond with the class of 2005?
The 2000 class was crazy to me because you got Chris Canty, you had Marcus Spears, you had Kevin Burnett, you had me, you had Marion the Barbarian. Don't talk about it. We haven't talked about Marion, right? And so a lot of guys coming in and being effective and doing what we do. So, I mean, just remembering that draft day of getting that call from Parcells and Jerry Jones and saying, hey, what is it? Welcome to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I told myself from that day, I want to etch my name in stone of the star because this is a privilege. And it's been that way my whole career. And a lot of the other guys that played as well, feeling that way. But that draft class and the memories from that, I mean, you can never take that back.
No, very well said. Marion the Barbarian, again, just great, incredible times. I saw recently you were on the links with other Dallas Cowboys legends, Tony Romo, DeMarcus Ware. So is that the off-season move for you now? Just playing a lot of golf with some pals?
Playing a lot of golf, being dad, enjoying life. And it was me and Emmett played one day. I got to, see Romo play. He came in second. I thought he was going to win that thing right at the end. But it's cool now that we're still competing. We're still doing things that our bodies are capable of. Mentally, we feel like, we want to get back on the football field, but we can't do that. But it's just one of those things where we get to still enjoy life, have fun, and still get that team camaraderie.
And what's it like? I mean, you're part of such an elite fraternity, having played for this team, having been one of the very best players in Cowboys franchise history, and bumping elbows with Emmitt Smith. I mean, I remember vividly, when they would, kind of follow you guys when you guys were on your rise in 2007. And I feel like it just has to be cool, like to be at this different stage of life, not quite like high school reunion-ish, but just a cool thing that you get to live.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, these are guys that I watched from, high school all the way through college, and now they watch me through my career, and now all of us are finished, and now we get to go play something together. We still feel that team, right? It still feels good. And so I think this right here is like the best part, being able to see each other from two different sides, but now come together and do something that we enjoy, and then talk about all of these football memories and everything that made us who we are.
The times that we've chatted, DeMarcus, I've never really asked you about the Denver Broncos, but I feel like I have to with the acquisition of Russell Wilson. It's a really people love to say like, oh, the NFL is better when this team is good or that team is good. People throw out like the Raiders or the Steelers or even the Cowboys, obviously. But the Broncos are kind of this new age blue blood of the NFL, and it's a great place to live, as you know. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool energy around the Broncos, and it feels like it's back. It does feel sort of circa 2014-ish when you got there.
Yeah, and I mean, with Russell Wilson, going up there, they've been looking for that quarterback, since Peyton left. They have that quarterback now, somebody that can be commanding of the whole team, somebody that can score points, because the team is actually really good. They beat a lot of teams that people thought that they shouldn't have beat this year, and now they have a quarterback that can now score with any other quarterback. The wide receiver core is good. So I think that the sky's the limit, for them. They're going to be knocking on the door of the playoffs. They're going to be that sleeper team, because in the AFC, everybody's talking about Buffalo. They're talking about the Raiders, so on and so forth. But the Broncos, they're going to, shake some heads.
On the subject of Buffalo, I mentioned Vaughn a little while ago. DeMarcus, you know what you're doing on social media. You're a smart guy on social. You love to have fun, and I love that. I really do enjoy that. It's such a great part of your personality now in your post-playing days. And I don't know when you sleep. Like, you have your hand in so many ventures, and we're about to talk about one in a second. But you had the video about Von Miller and the Cowboys and whatnot. Like, to me, because I know a lot of people feel like, oh, the DeMarcus has inside knowledge and this and that, but it really, to me, my vibe was like, he's just a fan. Like, he would love to see this. He would love to see Von because your buddies, your pals, the Cowboys connection, etc. Like, is that where you were coming from there?
You know what? Actually, at that time, probably about 5 seconds before I posted that, I got a text from Von, and he was like, "Hey, D man, I'm a free agent." I said, "What do you mean? I thought you had one more year under your contract." He said, "No." He said, "Call Jerry Jones in and see if they want me to come there." And so I said, "No, maybe I'll post something and see what happens." I said, "This is a real conversation. They might see it and hit you up." So I just, posted that and said something about it, and it spread it like wildfire. And Vaughn was like, "Dude, man, I hope." I mean, we were just sitting there for like 3 days, seeing if he's going to get a call or whatever. And they probably did talk a little bit, but it didn't happen because he demanded so much, especially going up there to the Bills and getting what he got. I mean, you can't turn that down.
Well, it was a lot of fun. You helped us and give us content, which I know is your ultimate goal. So thank you very much, DeMarcus. Big number for Von Miller, obviously in Buffalo, as you mentioned. Big number. I don't know. What's your sleep number? I mean, I've asked you about this before. The partnership you got going on right now.
You know what? My sleep number, actually, I mean, that's the firmness of the bed. It's 94. I try to push it to 100, but I'm not there yet. But
is that are you doing it on purpose? Like, your sleep number is actually 94?
It is on my bed. It is 94. Right? And my sleep IQ is between 75, 82. That's how well I sleep at night. But that's how cool this bed is. Being able to have, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed do everything for you. While you sleep, it contours your body how it should be, right? Because I've had so many injuries, and to be able to sleep soundly and recover, that's the way I feel. That's why I feel so good right now. But them taking it a step further, since 2018, they've been the wellness partner of the NFL, using professional athletes, letting us be at the top of that pyramid to show everybody that if you want to be at peak performance, this is what you have to do. But you can have the same stuff that we have. Sleep the same way that we sleep, so you feel good each day. Because sleep is the most important thing. When we don't get enough of it, nobody do. But if you can have something that's sort of taking the guesswork out for you, and you will know each day, that's all you need. And that's why I'm like a big advocate of it, because it's changed my life.
That makes sense. I mean, on the golf course, you, Romo, Emmett, probably talking about sleep, how you guys are all, y'all been through the battles of the NFL. Only the Sleep Number 360 smart bed is proven to effortlessly improve the quality of your sleep and harness powerful harness powerful insights to support overall health and wellness. But my question is, like, when you were like, you first get it and you're messing around and you're like, okay, let me figure this out. Do you just like go to 94? Is that like an instinct for you, or did it just like it naturally landed on 94? Because that's such a coincidence.
It's an increments of 5, 10, 15, 20. Right. From this, I said 94, but it's actually 95. Right.
Okay.
So you just press on the bed and say, okay, well, this is the firmest, that I wanted. Your wife, which is my wife, she can be at 75. I can be at 95. Right. But two different separate, numbers, but you will feel that. And all of a sudden the bed will start moving. And you're like, hold on. It took me a while to get used to it, but the bed moves and contours your body, and it sits there. And I'm like, man, it's doing everything for me, right? But I mean, it's a really, really cool thing, and being part of this whole initiative, just to show the world, not just, the NFL guys, to show the world that sleep is the most important thing to optimal performance, but also health.
That's awesome. That's very well said. Last one for you, DeMarcus. You mentioned, the Cowboys got to get back to running the ball. I know you'll be happy, and we'll all be happy with what happens this week. But if you had to kind of just like cast a wide net, you want to see them address the offensive line in the first round. I mean, if you have to kind of plant a flag somewhere, is that where you want to see them go?
I would cast the net looking towards the offensive line, because we've lost a couple of guys, right? Bringing some of those young Mauler, hungry guys in that. Now, when you start talking about feed Zeke, right? Protecting Dak, he's feeling well from what I've heard in the media. That's where you have to start everything at, because we've lost so many guys, right? But then I would transfer over to the defensive line, because if we're one of the number one offenses in the league, we can score points. but the defense have to be able to substitute and get pressure throughout. Number ones, twos, threes, whoever you put in there, you got to be able to get pressure, not just with Micah or DeMarcus Lawrence, right? So I think that that's going to be the cool part of seeing the trenches get glorified, and then we'll be able to glorify the Dallas Cowboys late in the playoffs.
That's well said. DeMarcus, my best friend in the whole world, all worlds, really. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Hope you have a great draft week, and hope to see you soon.
All right, thanks, man. Peace.